Friends who have done assassinations know, if your view is suddenly blocked by a beautiful woman, never get distracted. You must immediately refocus and lock onto the target. But Leon Mercer was born a womanizer, unable to resist sneaking a glance at the beautiful woman, Sofia Reyes. Realizing he would fail if he kept this up, he quickly refocused and set his sights back on the target, checking his watch. Heartbeat 65. This was his optimal state. He adjusted his angle, took a deep breath, ready to make the kill. After all, he had never missed. He looked through the scope at the target, and without hesitation, squeezed the trigger. However, in that moment, Sofia suddenly moved, and the bullet hit her instead. He quickly reloaded, preparing for a second shot, but the bodyguard noticed and swiftly drew the curtains. Knowing he was exposed, he packed up the sniper rifle, picked up the spent shell, put on his helmet, and ran downstairs, jumping into the Ferrari that was waiting, leaving the scene before the police arrived. He discarded his gear along the way, evaded the police cars, and tossed his helmet into the river. After cleaning up all the equipment, he went to a nearby convenience store restroom, took off his clothes, washed his body, shaved, changed into fresh clothes, and sprayed some perfume to cover any lingering scent. He hailed a cab by the roadside, rushing to the airport. When he arrived, he tossed the last gun into a trash can, but during security check, a police dog began staring at him. Although he had cleaned off all the scents, he still worried the dog might catch something. So he decided to give up on that flight and went back to the restroom to wash himself again, because details make the difference. He even tossed his watch, bought a new ticket, and changed his identity. Just as he was about to board, Mr. Harrington called, asking why the mission failed, and warned him the client would never let him go. He knew, for people of this level, failure meant he could be eliminated at any time. Now he was probably going to be hunted by both sides. After hanging up, he removed the SIM card from his phone, crushed the phone to avoid being tracked. Even after boarding the plane, he remained alert. He noticed a man in sunglasses was staring at him, Dante Crow. Once he got off the plane, he changed his identity again and arranged for the next flight. Strangely, the man in sunglasses also booked a connecting flight and reappeared in the waiting area. He immediately realized this man was likely tailing him, so he decided to skip the flight and spend the night in a hotel. Before leaving, he ordered dinner but wasn't really hungry. He needed some weapons. He hung a glass on the doorknob and placed a plate in front of the door, so when the door opened, the glass would fall into the plate and make a sound. Then he grabbed a dinner knife, sat on the other side of the door, turned off the lights, and quietly waited for the assassin to arrive. The night passed quietly, and Dante Crow never showed up. He sighed with relief. When he reached his destination, he drove home, but when he got to the door, he noticed 2 pairs of large footprints, clearly not his wife's shoe size. He immediately sensed something was wrong, drew his gun, and rushed inside. There were obvious footprints outside, indicating the intruders had entered the house. He carefully checked every corner, but found nothing. The floor was covered in blood. He hurriedly called his wife and learned she was seriously injured and in the hospital. He couldn't believe it. His brother-in-law, Jason Ward, told